This is the book of Revelation, chapter 6 and verse 5. Then when he opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, "Come and see." And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. Verse 6. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, "A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine." I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham Shai, Bahasham Chakbadash, and double honor to my teachers, the head apostles and elders, a great millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect. This is your brother ICR from the GMS Cleveland Church, and I'm back with another lesson. And Lord willing, it is edifying to one of the Lord's elect, and this is going to be in transit. I have a couple news clips pulled up, and this lesson is going to be inspired. It's going to be on the topic of finances and the economy of the United States of America, which is known as Babylon the Great. Just this morning, I went to go put gas in my car for 87. This shit is $3.79, and I'm in Cleveland, Ohio. Okay, and that's absurd, man. Okay, $3.79 for a gallon of 87. That's fucking absurd, man. All right, these people, hey, if we feeling it, we are the hopeful elect. All right, and then we're the poor of this world, the rich in faith. If we feel it, can you imagine how these people in the world feeling, man? You see, these people never suffered, man. See, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, when you read, right, the third seal, okay, where it talks about balances, it talks about, when you go into the word balance, it means slavery. And also how the Lord is going to even the scales, man, all right, because the Lord is a power of balance, and by him actions are weighed, all right? A false balance is an abomination to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. So the Lord is even in the score with these Edomites, all these heathens as well. They're going to feel the pain that the Israelites felt, man. Okay, the suffering, being poor. Okay, they're going to feel it, man, because this war that the United States of America, Babylon the Great, has with Iran, it's not going to stop. And then, you know, it's all about money. Okay, it's all about assets. Okay, you know, and the hypocrisy of the United States of America. This place gas should never be that high, because why? They have the most oil reserves, okay? And on top of that, they had that before they even annexed Venezuela, okay? And now they're about to go to Cuba. See, Esau, Edom, doesn't care what's going on in his homeland, okay? The scriptures say he is not a keeper at home. He's worried about what's going on in the world and how he can take it over, man. He doesn't care if his home base gets attacked, okay? And eventually it will, man, because he's not focused on what's going on in his land. Okay, he's focused on what's going on in everybody else's land. He's neither a keeper at home, okay, whose desire is as hell, meaning he's an insatiable creature, man. All right, and part of his insatiableness is seeing you people suffer, man. All right, and he's not going to let up. These gas prices are not going to let up, Lord willing. You know, gas went from $2.69 or $2.39 or whatever it was, and that was just probably 2-3 weeks ago. All right, so one morning you're going to wake up and gas is going to be $10 a gallon, man. Now, what are you going to take that? Are you still going to fill up your tank and make it to work? Right? Because when you read Revelation 6, it talks about inflation, man. Right? I even looked it up in the chat GPT. What does Revelation 6 and 6 mean? Right? It says, what's going on in this verse? A measure of wheat for a penny, right? A measure means 1 day's worth of food for one person, right? And it says a penny, which is the denarius, right? Which is a form of currency, right? That I believe it was the Romans that used it. Okay, it says a penny equals a full day's wages in ancient times. So, as you say, they're on point. It says the meaning what? You have to work an entire day just to afford enough wheat to feed yourself, man. So everything that's going on in here in the United States of America, it has always been vanity. But the Lord is making it clear that this shit is vanity, man. It's pointless. It's meaningless, man. Okay? But you're gonna have these Babylonians running out of their wits to keep themselves afloat. Okay, you can't keep yourself afloat in an empire that's collapsing, man. Okay. Now it says not verse 2, but it says 3 measures of barley for a penny. Barley was cheaper, lower quality food, often animal feed or for the poor, man. All right. So it says, meaning even cheaper food is still expensive. You can barely survive and the quality drops, man. Right. That was in the book of 2 Kings, where dove's dung sold for a crazy amount of silver, and also a donkey's head. Okay, a donkey's skull. Right. So those things are gonna. Hey, whatsoever was written aforetime was written for our learning. Okay. Hey, the Lord requireth that which is past. Okay. There's no new thing under the sun. All these things have taken place in every empire that collapses, man. Because it's the judgment of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. He has the balances in his hand, man. Okay. So it says, see thou hurt not the oil and the wine, which we know. Okay, that's talking about this truth and also the elect. Okay, so they go off on this one. Okay. But the overall meaning, it says basic food becomes scarce and overpriced. People struggle just to survive. There may be unfair distribution of resources, and that's going to take place too, because you're going to have rationing going on. Some cities are going to be good, and some cities are going to be horrible, man. All right. So let's watch some of these videos. All right. I don't own any rights to these videos. These are not for financial gain, but entertainment purposes, teaching purposes. All right. Let's check it out.
The economic risks of the war are getting real for Americans. Stock markets ended the week down again. As the conflict drags on, this is U.S. crude oil costs are pumped up. Now more than $98 a barrel, up from $67 3 weeks ago.
So that's a $30 increase. So if the price of living, right, if things go up, the price of things go up. Your price of your cost of living, you should get a cost of living increase, right? That's what they do in unions. They give you a cost of living increase. I remember they did that in the New Jersey port. You know, the union, those port workers, they wanted more money, so they gave them a cost of living increase because of, during the C-19, everything was getting expensive. You see, but you people who aren't backed by a union, you're not going to get anything. So pretty much you're paying a secret tax. All right. See, the people aren't in an uproar yet, but they're about to be soon, man. Because when you fuck with people money, you're fucking with their livelihood, man. And the scriptures say that, and I'm gonna grab that. Then I'm gonna close out with that one.
Yes, it's Andres Gutierrez in Los Angeles with more on the energy shock. Andres.
Good evening. Drinking gas on average here in California more than $5 a gallon. While the prices keep going up, the supply isn't, and that is making the biggest difference for this generation.
If you're grumbling about the cost of gasoline these days, you could be grumbling louder come March.
That was 1974. An Arab oil embargo ended up shutting down some gas stations across America. 2 days I've been trying to get gas. The government printed ration coupons never used and told drivers which days they could fill up.
Many motorists with more than a quarter full tank of gas will not be allowed to buy more fuel at its member stations.
That won't happen today. What would actually have to happen for there to be an actual crisis here?
Well, it depends how you define a crisis. I think in the United States, we're very unlikely to see a crisis in the sense of having gas lines or shortages.
Half a century later, the war with Iran is squeezing the world's oil supply. But the United States doesn't get most of its oil from the Middle East. More than half our crude comes from Canada. Mexico is second, and Saudi Arabia is a distant third.
Even though the United States produces about as much oil as it consumes, we have a free...
They produce as much oil as it consumes. See, these politicians, these so-called white people, these Edomites, okay, they don't care about their own people. So they don't care about you heathens or you Israelites, man. They love to see you people suffer, man, while their pockets are getting fat. You wonder why I'm probably pissed. Well, the scripture says, surely oppression maketh the wise man mad. You know, if you're not mad because of this shit, okay, you're pretty much content with what's going on. All right. We're kings and priests, right? We're not happy with this situation we're in, but we understand this Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. We were put here because of our disobedience, okay? But the Lord reminded you that you're a king and a priest, and the king and a priest is never supposed to be in this situation, man. All right? Being poor, all right? Being without, being deprived, having heathens rule over you, all right? See, you Edomites are going to pay for what you're doing to the Lord's elect, man. Okay, and not only his elect, but his people, all right? Because you kept it going. The scripture talk about how, the affliction, or how you just kept going. All right, you went overboard. I forgot what precept it is. All right, but nevertheless, when the Lord was done with chastising us, you kept it going. All right, so let's keep playing.
Market in oil. That excess demand or shortage of supply drives up the price everywhere.
The U.S. produces millions of barrels of crude oil from 32 states and exports more than 4 million barrels of crude oil a day.
President Trump is pushing to produce even more, invoking a Cold War emergency law to restart offshore drilling at a rig near Santa Barbara, California that can produce 50,000 barrels a day. The Strait of Hormuz is blocking 20 million.
When oil prices go up, gasoline prices are allowed to rise.
Andrew, the ripple effects are just beginning. The price of fertilizer is up 30%, raising concerns of higher prices at the grocery store, and the price of helium has doubled since the war.
So everything's increasing. Fertilizer is increasing. That means what? The farmers, they're going to have a hard time getting their hands on that because they can't afford it. So with them not being able to afford it, what happens, man? They're not able to grow crops. So what does that bring in? That brings in a famine, a scarcity of food. Revelation 6:6, man.
Affecting so many things. Andres Gutierrez in Los Angeles, thank you. With Iran, as gas prices soaring nationwide.
But it's been even worse right here in Southern California. It always is. So it's Martinez's gas station downtown where the price has topped $8 this morning. At least that's right.
$8. God damn.
Good morning to you both. Yes, it's pretty much a jump scare anytime you drive by a gas station since the war broke out in Iran about 2 weeks ago. We're here at the Chevron, $8.71. Take a look at that. Although this gas station does price higher, at least $2 to $3 higher than other stations in the area. I guess they can get away with that. But let's take a look at what's going on. Nationwide, according to AAA, the average is $3.67. To compare California, what we're paying, $5.48. That's a whopping $1.81 more per gallon. Let's take a look at locally, LA and Long Beach. We're paying $5.56 on average today. Yesterday it was $5.45, jumping up 11 cents. Last month, only $4.60. Those were the good old days, right? 96 cents higher today. Well, the war in Iran is disrupting oil shipments. That's raising prices on gas and other items as well. We always ask, why does California get hit harder than the rest? Well, we have stricter rules for cleaner burning gas blends and higher taxes as well. Plus, our supply is low. We have our issues there. The average in California right now, $5.48. Yesterday, $5.41. Last month, $4.57, up 91 cents. Well, now, in a controversial move to offset this, President Trump signed an executive order to demand the resumption of offshore oil drilling along the California coast at the site of a devastating oil spill back in 2015. He's invoking the emergency powers under the Defense Production Act, allowing the Department of Energy to restore operations at a Santinez pipeline along the Santa Barbara coast. You may remember back in 2015, there was a massive oil spill, dumping more than 140,000 gallons of oil into one of the West Coast's most biologically diverse areas. I was working in Santa Barbara at the time. I covered that. It was an absolute disaster. Environmental advocates expressing alarm this morning. And here's what Governor Gavin Newsom had to say, quote, Donald Trump started a war, admitted would spike gas prices nationwide and told Americans it was a small price to pay. Now he's using these prices of his own making to attempt what he's wanted to do for years, open California's coast for his oil industry friends so they could poison our beaches. That wouldn't lower prices by a cent. And that is likely true. It won't lower the cost of gas by much by restarting that oil pipeline. But again, we are hurting, and the pain at the pump is not expected to ease anytime soon. Gas prices, they always go up pretty quick, but they tend to drop slowly. So more pain at the pump in the coming days and likely weeks. Gonna send it back to you.
All right. Safe thank you so much. Well, here's another look at our local average gas prices. They are all up across SoCal, with the lowest being the IE at an average of $5.45.
told you anything?
So these things are gonna, like she said, they shoot up. The gas prices shoot up, quick. But for them to come back down, it takes a long time, man. All right. See, these devils are very crafty. The scriptures say Esau, Edom, was a cunning hunter. All right. So this man knows how to hunt. He knows how to hunt. Okay. He knows how to pretty much unalive people, make people suffer. Okay. And that's exactly what he's doing. And this is eventually going to cause an uproar in the United States of America. Right? People aren't just going to sit here and let their wages, their livelihood be taken advantage of. It's just taking them out a long time because the Lord has a spirit of slumber and carelessness on these people. But eventually, 2 Corinthians 15 is going to blow into full effect where there's going to be rioting in the streets. Okay? Government officials are going to be taken hostage. Okay? Yeah, that's going to happen, man. People are going to find these government officials and they're going to take them hostage, man. All right? Why? Because of the lack of bread. Okay? Because of the lies. All right? And I'm gonna play this last video. All right? Then I'm gonna close out. All right, this is the king of Babylon. Donald Trump asks how long gas prices will be high. All right, let's check this out.
In terms of how long we can expect gas prices as high as they are right now.
I know what it is. You know, the Prime Minister of United Kingdom yesterday told me I'm meeting with my team to make a determination. They said you don't need to meet it with the team. You're the Prime Minister, you can make your own. Why do you have to meet with your team to find out whether or not you're going to send some minesweepers to us or to send some boats? I said, you don't have to meet with your team. It's the same thing here. I can tell you that when this is over, oil prices are going to go down very rapidly. So is inflation, so is everything else. But frankly, much more important than short-term, even long-term oil prices. You can't let the most violent, vicious country in the last 50 years have a nuclear weapon. Because the Middle East will be gone. Israel will go first, without question. And they'll certainly take a shot at us before we get our act together and say we've got to take them out. You can't let Iran, who's truly a nation of great terror and power. Look what happened. In the last 2 weeks, they weren't supposed to go after all these other countries in the Middle East. Those missiles were set to go after them. So they hit Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Bahrain, Kuwait. Nobody expected that. We were shot. And the other one, they fought back. They could have yielded. But think of it, if we weren't around. They have tremendous thousands of missiles, most of which we've terminated. They had thousands of drones. They were making drones and missiles all over the place. We've knocked out most of those factories. I mean, now they're sending out 2 or 3 missiles. Now they still got some. Might have 8% left. But mostly they've been eliminated. They've been terminated by what we did. And what Israel did.
So pretty much, you heard it from the horse's mouth itself. You know, we're America, not we, because I'm not part of this place. But America, Babylon the Great, is going to stay at war until their enemies are pretty much obliterated, man. All right? So, a lot can happen within the next three months, man. I say 3 months. Then the summertime is coming. So, people like to travel. So, gas is going to, when people like to travel, gas increases even more. You see? But let's see how these people react when these prices don't come back down. So I'm going to grab a precept and I'm going to close out because I did mention how, he's pretty much depriving the people of their wages, man. All right? And that's borderline. That's pretty much death. Okay? You're taking someone's livelihood. Okay? And I believe it's 35. I don't know why my screen is doing this. Let me get this. Alright. Just Cyrac 34. Let me get it in GNT. I knew I was at the right one. Right. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, right? Chapter 34, verses 21 and 22 in the GNT. It says, food means life itself to poor people, and taking it away from them is murder. Right. It is murder to deprive someone of his living or to cheat an employee of his wages, man. That's exactly what this devil, so-called white man, is doing, man. Okay, he's committing acts of murder without taking someone's life, man. Okay, he's doing it indirectly, but it still affects the people as a whole, man. And guess what? He don't give a fuck either, man. So he's in the right spirit. All right, it's you Israelites that ain't in the right spirit, because he's doing what he's supposed to do. The scripture saying the curses, Deuteronomy 28, you shall go to the enemy of one of all things, man. And that's what's about to happen. Okay, they're gonna every essential item here in the United States of America is gonna be centralized, and you're gonna have to get it from Esau Edom himself, man. Right? Buy or sell, right? But if you don't have a mark, you can't buy or sell. See, that's what's coming. That mark is on its way, man. He's gonna use that tool. He's gonna use that mark as a device, to bring peace back to the United States of America, man. Now we know what comes with that taking that sea hit, man. You're ruining your chance of being delivered from the destruction of the United States of America, because that's what's coming. Okay, after 2 Edges 15, what happened? Okay, what happened? And when you read 2 Edges 16, the missiles started flying over here, man. All right, after all that turmoil here in the United States of America, all that division, all that civil war, the missiles started coming over here in the next chapter. So, that's pretty much the next chapter in Yahweh Bashmi Yahushai's book. Okay, the missiles are gonna fly soon. You just had a so-called meteor hit here in Ohio. They said it was North Olmsted. Okay, that's what they claim it was, a meteor. But who knows exactly what it was? You ain't seen no pictures of anything yet. You see? I believe it was a missile, and they're just trying to keep the people at ease, all right? Because when the people find that out, okay, all hell will break loose, and we praying that all hell breaks loose speedily, man, so we can get out of here. So I'm gonna close out. Lord willing, this is edifying to one of the Lord's elect. Give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachak Badash, and double honor to my teachers, the head apostles, and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect. Kwame Yashar Shalom, Wa Abba, Babal.